Good morning. It is I, Victoria Pendragon. Welcome to my alternate reality. And please forgive the attire. I am sure an older woman in a hooded black garment brings up some kind of strange image. What could that be? Well, at any rate, I did it on purpose because I wanted to display the star of the show, which is not me today, but this crystal that I'm wearing, which I hope I put right in your face there at the beginning. If not, I'll move just a little closer for the moment. Maybe you can see it. We'll see how good I am at that. What you are looking at is priceless, near as I can figure. It's a Lemurian record keeper crystal. I didn't buy it. I didn't acquire it. I will tell you the story of how it came to be in my possession. One day, two friends of mine, one of whom is currently in the ethers, and the other of whom is in Baltimore. I'm not sure which of those is a better place to be. But we were working together, the three of us, seeking to reprogram a couple of healing devices that we had obtained. They were strange and unusual devices which certainly carried a great deal of energy, but we had a curious and not entirely good feeling around them, and so had decided that it would be better for us to simply reprogram them. We met in what was then my healing room in Medford, New Jersey, and opened the space up so that the three of us could stand in a circle with these healing tools in hand. We set our intention to clear the instruments and went within, centered ourselves, reconnected as a group, and then something took over the energy of the space. I don't know what it was. Our intention, the healing tools themselves, perhaps. And we all felt a tremendous rush of energy. I know this because we discussed it afterwards, not because anything was going on except this very intense rush of energy that was coming over us. And it mounted so high that it pushed us apart, and in fact threw me against the wall, I being the lightest weight of the three of us. And that was unexpected, very unexpected. And we felt kind of wiped out, but we're satisfied that the thing we had set out to accomplish was done. We all had the impression that we had traveled interdimensionally to some space. We weren't sure what exactly, where there was a great deal of energy, and from whence came this rush that we experienced. So after we gathered ourselves together, I had someone coming into the space, I had a client coming in, and so we had to put the room back together again, put ourselves back together again. They went their separate ways, and I went to just splash some water on my face and settle down a bit, back to my bedroom. I walked into that space in my bedroom, and on the top of my bureau I had a rather large formation of crystals. It was about as big as both my hands, but one of those kind of like a surface of, I'm not sure what, granite or something, sort of grayish, and out of that were small crystals, about so high. that dotted the space. And I used that crystal field to clear crystals that I would work with when I was doing healing, because I did a lot of crystal healing work. And I would put them on there, allow them to clear, then clear the bigger piece. So that was sitting on my bureau, as it always was. Nothing was on it because I hadn't done any crystal healing work in a bit. And I was at the desktop doing something when I noticed a large crystal sitting there on my clearing field. And I thought, I was confused. I knew it wasn't mine. I knew I hadn't put it there. I knew it wasn't one of the crystals on the piece because they were, again, about that big. They weren't very big at all, and actually quite embedded in the rock out of which they grew. I picked it up and wondered, and I sort of thought to myself, I wondered, could my husband have put that there? Could he have purchased a crystal? Unlikely. And gifted me that? Also unlikely, because we had a pact that we didn't give each other gifts, that when we needed something we would get it, and if we didn't need it, we didn't need to get it. It was sensible and in play all the time. But I asked him anyway when I came across him, and he said, I don't know what it is. And I believed that. Meanwhile, my client showed up. So I had to get myself together again, take my client into the healing room, put her on the table, and she was a very loquacious woman. Generally speaking, when she lay on my table, she just talked for about 45 minutes as I worked. And that was enjoyable enough. But today, she walked into the space where we had just done the clearing, lay down on the table, and just completely tranced out. And for 45 minutes, it was totally quiet. In the years that I knew this woman, that never occurred. On my table or off it, she was never quiet for more than 30 seconds. So this 45-minute period of silence was rather remarkable, I thought, and clearly a testament to whatever energy had been in that space. When she left, I went back to sort of wondering about this crystal. I picked it up and I thought to myself, this is not a pretty crystal. I would never have purchased such a piece, given my druthers. And at the time, I had a pretty decent library on crystals. I went to my library and started looking it up because it had odd markings on it. I'll never be able to show you those. I'm not even going to bother to try. They're like little triangles, etched. Not so much etched. Some of them are kind of raised on the crystal, what do you call them? The facets, the flat parts. They're covered with them. And I had a book that had close-ups of quartz crystals in different types, and I spotted a picture with exactly those configurations. And it said that it was from Lemuria, that it was called a record keeper crystal, and that in fact it was called that because it carried with it information from eons. So somehow, in the energy we generated, this beauty appeared in my room. Not the room where we were, but in my bedroom. It was very, very, very strange and very peculiar, and I ultimately had it mounted in this silver piece here, which is very awkward looking, but again, it's not a pretty crystal, yet it called out to be displayed, worked with, carried, something, and I was unsure of just carrying it about in my hands. They feel a bit insecure with precious things. And so I haltingly let it out of my possession for enough time for someone to make this large and ungainly cap that it wears so that I can wear it around my neck. And I often do wear it in ceremony and things like that. I suppose I could take the hood off now. You've seen it. God knows what my hair looks like. But it was a stunning and remarkable event. I called later in the day the other two people. The guy had, interestingly, found in his pocket a small citrine stone. Not a polished citrine, not cut, but just, polished. And had no idea where that came from. The woman discovered a piece that fell seemingly out of the clothes in her closet that she had been missing for years. Some kind of naval pin that had been part of her uniform, but she had not had access to it in years, and it fell. She was pissed. I got a crystal, he got a crystal, she found this thing. Whatever. It was odd that each of us had some kind of strange gift come to us. And so I just wanted to share that little interdimensional story with you today. And that's it. Take care. Bye.